Community Beacon, Fridays at 6:30 EST, with your hosts Michael Seville and Joel Simmons. A channel whose focus is liberty. A place where the lessons discussed and taught will create openings to a more open and freer mindset. A mindset where you may reach the height of your potential and excel. Here are your hosts, Mike and Joel.
What's going on again, brother? Back again for another Friday, and so glad to see you. So glad to be here. So thankful. So grateful. What a wonderful week. What say you?
It was a lot of so's. I'm so.
You're so today? That's okay.
No, I'm good, brother. I appreciate it. Always good to see your smiling face on the other side of the camera. Good to catch up when we do catch up. Like this is not work, but it's work. It's not work, but it's work. And it's always good that we have a dedicated time and place that you and I can get together. And always a great time to have a dedicated time and place for us to have here on Community Beacon every Friday, 6:30. Let me tell you how cold. Let me tell you people how cold we are. We got an episode running now, and we're taping another episode because we got to keep it moving and keeping it going, man. So I appreciate it. I appreciate the opportunity. I appreciate having you, brother, and I'm excited to be here. Life is good. Life is good.
I'm glad to hear that. You know, listening to the intro, every time I hear that, it soothes my soul. I'm gonna tell you, it just I'm in the background and I'm listening. Anna's got the intro coming on, and I'm just like, man, I thank God for this.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the Community Beacon, and I don't know how much it's doing for those that are our listeners out there, but what it's doing for me is real.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. So nonetheless, listen, y'all, like, share, comment, subscribe. All right. Click on follow on YouTube. Let me tell you something. Set your reminders, notifications. You got to put your notifications on. You want to know when we start. Some people, they're like, oh, I didn't even know you started. Yeah. Click on your notification. Then you'll know when we start. You know what I mean? Because we have 3 shows. It's not just one. We have 3 of them. Mike does. Motivational Mondays with Mike. We don't even know if he's going to keep that name. But
it's there.
It's there.
Yeah.
9:00 p.m. Eastern. Every single Monday. All right? What you talking about over there lately?
Still, it's what it takes, what it's going to take. And we're going through some things that are tangible steps that we're taking, that I'm taking. So this is not me going off of theory. This is not me going off of what I think it should be. This is not me sitting on top of a soapbox saying, this is what you need to do. This is what I'm doing to improve my life, improve my business. A lot of these things have been things I've been doing forever, and I'm tweaking it. So you all are getting the best of it. You all are getting the updated version. When I started, I was Mike 1.0. I'm Mike 2.0 now. So you all jumping on that motivational mics on Mondays. I'm there. You can set a clock. You can set a clock to it. We're there every Monday. At 9:00. And of course, what you got over there? It starts with me. You're always interviewing some of the best people. That's on Wednesday. Talk about that, brother. What's going on? Who's on there next? Who are you interviewing now? Because every week is somebody new and exciting.
Listen, Mike, I'm glad you asked that question. We have a brother by the name of Casey Njindu. He's from Africa. The story that he gives, Nigeria. He's right out of Nigeria in the continent of Africa. Listen, the story that he gives, it's powerful. I mean, he's local now. I mean, he's in Texas, but the story that he gives is so impactful. You'll hear me talking about it on this episode. So many times have I turned on the TV, and they're like, help the children in Africa. And never have I actually interviewed somebody and they told me that they were in this little square sleeping with 19 other people. And when he tells you about how they set up their closet system, the bag system, to have a closet in this little 10 by 10 area, it's like, wow, because this guy is real. I know him. We're conversing. We're looking to do things in the future. And this is real life where he came from. So please, y'all get in there. He started from zero, and now what he's doing some amazing things. It starts with me, y'all. Wednesday, 12:30 p.m. It's fire. All right.
Awesome, awesome. So we're here. This is the culmination of the month. We've been speaking about wellness from the beginning of the month. It's been very, for me anyways, enlightening. Lots of things that we've learned, things that I didn't know about that the brother brought to my attention. And we've been out here we're giving it to you. We're giving you all the formula to get better in regards to wellness, whether it was mind, body, soul, spirit. We all put that together for this month. It almost seemed like it wasn't enough. There's so much more that we could have touched on, so much more that we could have went in depth with, but we put aside an hour for this. And I'm sure in the future when we have our events, it'll be we'll get a lot deeper, we'll get a lot more involved with it. But this was good though. Some hourly impactful, lots of knowledge. I remember one show we got off and we were like, whoa. Whoa. So it was off the chain, brother. What about you? How did you enjoy this month's message?
Yeah, no doubt. The message has been beautiful. Something you just hit on, the events. Listen, we want to hear this. Planning a big event, and we want to do a live taping. So this is what we gotta start finding this out. And we're gonna start asking you every single show. We're gonna put it on all the shows. We gotta know who's coming to the event. Listen, we need you all to start jumping in because we want to put a live event on and have some live things going on, almost like an event party, right? And we want to tape the community beacon right in the neighborhood so that you all can come on out and participate and be live audience. I mean, we're talking about big things. We're looking at doing this maybe even later on in the year. So please, 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 ma'am, brother, DM us. Talk to Mike. Talk to me. Talk to Anna. We got to know. Talk to us. All right?
Awesome. I can't wait. I mean, just to get together with some of the people who are watching us and they continuously support us each and every week. I'm telling you, I know a lot of people are watching this afterwards. It's not necessarily catching it on that Friday, but you all are DMing me. You all are calling me. We are having conversations that are both impactful and insightful. And so appreciate you guys. You guys are our energy, our air, So thanks a lot. You allow us to continue going from the humble beginnings. From the humble beginnings. Awesome, brother. Let's get into it. I guess my question to you is we went through so much. We went through a lot. We've spoken about a lot. What were some of the things that you took from this month in regards to wellness, our wellness month? What were some of the things that really resonated with you that you probably went a little bit deeper on this month?
Man, that's a good question. I think that part of the biggest thing for me was probably mind. Being so cognitive of everything that is going on and taking care of my mind. I found that in this week there was definitely some difficult times.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a blessing. I had a lot of business come through this week, so that was a great thing. And we always say, "Hey, listen, the more business, I would love to exchange somebody not having business problems for having business problems. That makes sense?
Right. Right.
Because at least I'm saying, well, money is coming in through the door, so that means that's something good. But I'm telling you, like the stress and the pressure of being able to hit each and every last one of those things and to be able to excel on all of them
Right.
was trying. It was extremely trying. We had clients that called up and said, it's an emergency. We need you to, we need this, we need that. We had clients that sent paychecks and we had never done any service, never even agreed to when we would do the service. We had new individuals that were seeking our services across the seas, right? And then we also had so many interviews, people wanting to interview and people that we reach out to interview, desiring for time to just speak with us. And it was so much at the same time. I'm in school, brother. I'm still, running things in the church. It's our holy convocation season. You see, I'm in the hotel room again, you know. So we're doing things with the church. Anna, Anna was invited to speak, and she blew it up, y'all. I got to get you the link so that you all can see.
Yeah. Shouts out.
Anna, she's amazing, man. She's amazing, amazing. That's it. She's amazing. And the content that she brought was in tune. It was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. I enjoyed it immensely. So that's what I took away, just the whole piece about the mind.
Right. Right. That's awesome, brother. That's awesome. Congratulations to you and all the the great things that you're doing in the business world, what you're doing with the Tenacity Foundation. People, you got to go check him out. You got to go see what it's all about. Um, the brother's a blessing. He's a
Thank
blessing.
you.
So get him while he's cheap. Because if he ever starts listening to me, those prices are going up now. But awesome, brother. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. I love it. Mindset. The mind was hugely impactful to me. Those of us who are business people and attempting every day to be better and better at their businesses and not just business, but personally and in your personal life, spiritual life, because we spoke about being spiritual. There was a lot of things that kind of hit me in regards to this month. I'm doubling down on what I say. I talk about processes and systems. With everything you heard Joel just speak about, similar things in my life. Of course, I have 2 kids myself, that I got to maintain. I got a business, I got family, I got health. All these things are important to me. So the fact of coming up with these different things and being able to both physically push through and mentally push through, like those things, those things take a toll. But one of the things is actually having those processes and systems in order to be more efficient. I deal with both. Of course, you guys got to know I'm in real estate. If I haven't said it once, I'm gonna say it again. Starting another practice, arm or source of business within the real estate, which is the cold calling and me calling people, reaching out to different clients. It's an excellent time to buy real estate right now. If you did either now or 30 years ago, you pick which time is the best time to buy real estate or which time you can actually do it. But coming up with these different processes and systems, coming up with your SOPs. We talk about SOPs in business for those, or as your organizations, your standards of operations. You have to have something to go back to, right? So, and this is physical fitness. What is your standard operation? What are your SOPs when you're going to go get physically fit? What times? Me and the brother were talking a little bit earlier about picking a time, because what happens is that you can get, when things are just all up in the air, and you haven't created that habit. Even sometimes when you do create the habit, getting off of your times makes things change. You're approaching things with a different mindset. So me and him were kind of spitballing and talking about times, and I was explaining to him, when I go to the gym, everybody knows I'm in the gym by 5 o'clock. and it's just been that way, but my body knows it, right?
Yeah.
So subconsciously, I'm already preparing for it, you know. So having that discipline to it. Here's one thing: making your that we spoke about, and because we're continuing to push on and press on, because some of the things that you just spoke about in regard to some of the bumps and things that are going on within in regards to business and being able to handle it, the stress and the pressure. Guess what happens when you continuously do this? Like the next time it comes along, it doesn't even seem it doesn't. First off, you're going to create the processes to handle all these different things, right? That I know that's what you're going to do. That's your SOP. You're going to have the standards. You're going to have your processes and your systems. And then the next time it comes along, it's not going to be stressful. It's just going to be a part of business, right? So it's going to be awesome. The next thing that I took into account was the awareness. Like awareness of where exactly we are, whether that's spiritually, whether that's when we're dealing with our spirit, whether we're dealing with our soul, mindset, and what do we physical fitness, our body. Like where are we? And actually to be honest with yourself. Like how are you doing? You know, don't you someone said once, you can lie to me, that's fine. Don't lie to yourself and don't lie to God.
That's it.
Right.
That's my saying, man. That's it. That's what I teach my children.
Yeah.
You know,
you got to, you know, it's fine. And sometimes I say, hey, if I ask you something and you know, maybe you don't want to answer me, you might be embarrassed, whatever the case may be, you can tell me an untruth. I might not like it, but you can go ahead and do it. But at the core of it all, you have to be real with yourself. So when it comes to awareness, be real with yourself, because we have to understand our starting point in order to get to where we need to know where we're at. And then we need to find out where we're going and then create those systems and processes in order to get there. So it's been interesting. It allowed me to double down on a lot of the things that I'm doing and just moving forward, brother. I'm excited about it.
Man, I love it. I love it. You know, and that saying right there, that's something that I teach to my children, and it's something that I share with the community around me, because I think it is very important, right? Whatever you say to people, I mean, it goes to a person. I'm not saying that you should tell an untruth, but the thing about it is, at the core of it, we ought to be the most authentic individual possible in order for us to improve ourselves. You know, at the end of the day, we need to be able to look in the mirror and ask ourselves a question: did I do the very best with the time that I had on this earth? Did I do the very best with the time that I had today? You know, and when we start taking that moment by moment, we will become our own critics. We will critique ourselves. Now, for some of us, I don't know, sometimes we are overhanded with our personal critique. This is a mindfulness type of matter. You know, the whole purpose in the critique is to get better, not bitter. We don't want to become bitter. And the same thing happens with us, whether we're at work or whether we're with friends. You know, sometimes we get to the point where we only feel as if certain people can actually say, no, you can't say that to me. Only so and so. It's like, if there's anything that I've learned that I can learn from anybody.
1000%.
I can learn how to do something. I can learn why to do something. I can learn when to do something. I can learn where to do something. But you know what? I can also learn why not to do something.
Remember that commercial? Remember that commercial? The dummy commercial with the seatbelt commercial, when they said you can learn a lot from a dummy.
Like you can learn a lot from a dummy, and that's the perfect segue to what we're talking about, right? Because the dummy gets into the car, no seatbelt. He's immortal. He's on TV. He's immortal. No matter what he crashes into, if he comes out with his head underneath his kneecaps, he's all right. But it doesn't work that way for us. You know, I just dealt with somebody who had a situation on the ATV. Yeah, you know, and they told me, they said to me, you know, one thing that they learned was that they're not doing that again. That's what they learned. They're done, you know, and it doesn't always have to be polar opposites, y'all. But the whole point is that with inside of the mind unlocks what Mike was just saying, awareness.
Yeah.
And being aware gives us the power to make choice. And one of the greatest things that we'll ever be able to do with our mind is make appropriate choice. Judgment, y'all, it's huge. Judgment, the mind, that whole concept, it moves into body, it moves into spirit, and it affects the soul.
Yeah, I love it. And I'm gonna go right before in regards to the body, and we didn't really get into it. We kind of brushed over it, but this week, once again, because of the things that we talk about on Community Beacon, and I'm a practitioner, guys. We're talking about it. This is not, once again, I'm not theorizing this stuff. I'm not theorizing this stuff. I'm not standing on a soapbox saying this is what you need, this is what you need to do. I take what we have and I reflect on it, and then I put it into practice. I implement it. So one of the things that we spoke about, what was it, a couple weeks ago? I think it was when we were talking about, it was the body and mind conversation, was the things that we put into our body. So this week I have been very aware. I've been cognizant of what it is that I'm eating, what's going on, and I'm telling you, besides sunlight, because sunlight is important, guys. Get out in the sun. When I do my prospecting and we're on a Zoom, they say when you start to get a little bit tired, they say, hey, go outside, go get some fresh air and get in the sun. It's important that you get that the vitamins that the sun provides for you. And it also allows you to get grounded. But what you put into your body, the things that you're eating, in order for you to, and it's going to affect not only your body and how the process goes, but it also affects the way that the clarity of your mind. Because if your input, we spoke about this a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago. If the things that you're inputting, our body is like a computer. Our mind is like a computer. What you input, that's why it's important to protect your mind as well. The things that you input, you can't just sit there and watch the news all day. I guarantee you will be depressed. Same thing when you start to eat foods that aren't good for you. You might feel good at the point of contact. And that's when the ice cream is going down. You might feel good at the point of contact. But the next day, even a little bit later on, you shouldn't be going to sleep immediately after you eat, right? We're talking about your blood sugars move up. We didn't really get into the nutrition, but it's very important. And that's one of the things that I've always been cognizant of what I eat, but even more so now. Okay, how do I feel after I ate this? How does it affect my body? We're all different. We all can intake certain, different things. So I'm not telling you not to have ice cream. I'm not telling you not to enjoy yourself with what you eat. But you need to be aware of what exactly is going on within your body in that regard. Same thing with your mind. Be very aware of the people that you keep around you, because people, there's power of life and death in the tongue. So what are they speaking around you? And I choose to believe that people, and then we spoke about the spirit, are good, right? Like we're good. So the thing is that they may not necessarily be aware of what they're saying. They may not necessarily have heard or couldn't even fathom what it is that you plan to accomplish, what it is that you want to do. So it's very important that when you're protecting your mind, is the people that you're around. And I'm not telling you to get rid of these people, but sometimes you need to understand and create boundaries of how much time you can expect with this person, and understand, the spirit that's moving around, coming out of their mouth, brother. What would you say about that?
That's powerful, because sometimes it's not the physical boundary. There are instances when you can separate yourself from other people. Creating new circles because the circles you're in are non-beneficial. 100% do it. I, I'm a firm believer in doing that. I've had to do that, and I've got some scars that tell me I was right. Physical scars. Physical scars that are on my body that say you did a good job at separating yourself from that one right there. But there are some people that we're not going to separate ourselves from so easily. Sometimes it's family. There are some people that may have family that they need to be separate from, or that they need to keep at a distance. Yeah. But this is a part of mindset. You need to think about that yourself and make those types of decisions.
Have to.
Right? Listen, I was offered an opportunity to do something. So before saying yes or even saying no, I called my wife up and I said, hey, listen, this was just offered to me. And we started, to create a list. Remember, we were talking about those 7 points last month, maybe? And we started to create a list. And in that list was the pros and cons. Y'all, I didn't get too down on my list when I recognized that it would be a 900% increase of expense for me to do this work. My answer was no, because the benefits would not outweigh. I was going to lose, and for me to gain would cause me to suffer. And the sacrifice was not there right now. I was not prepared to make that type of sacrifice. So I had to make a choice. When I continued down further, I did later on, I found that there was more loss than gain. And this is a powerful thing, I believe, because I was able to do this and to make the best decision. These are some of the things that we're talking about. Let me mention this also because you touched on nutrition. And this is something that I went and I found and I looked up and read some of this journal. It was by Yale, J. Ball, and Med, or YJBM. Even in their abstract, this is what they said. Studies have found that persistent disturbance of nutrient metabolism and or energy homeostasis caused by either nutrient deficiency or excess induces cellular stress leading to metabolic dysregulation and tissue damage, and eventually to development of acquired metabolic syndromes. What does that mean? When we disturb our nutritional balance, our energy homeostasis, whether it's in deficiency, lack thereof, or it's in excess. We do too much of something. And brother was talking about the ice cream. It may taste good going down, but what it does later is something totally different. Then we can end up, this is how we send our body into metabolic dysregulation, into damaged tissue, and we eventually develop, it leads to the development of acquired metabolic syndromes, something like hypertension or hyperglycemia, and many other various forms of metabolic or cardiogenic type of dysregulations or deficiencies inside of the body. That's a big thing to think about because we talk about these things on the latter end, when they're like, oh, your sugar's too high. That's when we talk about it. And now you have to take metformin, or you have to take lisinopril, or you have to take Wellbutrin. All these different drugs are coming through because you have some cardiogenic type of issue, metabolic type of issue. Your cholesterol's through the roof, and it's because you didn't take care of your body, But there had to, most likely, I mean, maybe there are some people, brother, that didn't have the mind to think about it, but most of us have got a little inkling. Those of us that are halfway educated in the things that we do. And I don't mean that I don't mean that to be harmful to anybody, because ignorance it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a stupid person. It just means that you don't know. And
Yeah.
so this is not applied to those who don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's happening in space. So don't come asking me about what the comet's name was that flew by, you know, last month or whatever. I don't know. I'm ignorant. But for those of us who do know a little bit about medical conditions and do know a little bit about nutrition and know a little bit about exercise and know a little bit about these things, we know that some of the things that we are doing is damaging us and possibly is taking off of years of our life at the end spectrum. You may have a guaranteed 100 years of life, but the decisions you're making cut it down to 95, cut it down to 85, cut it down to 75. You will never know because you can't predict when you're going to live or die. You just don't know. But, you know, I believe God knows. And there's some things that we do that just cuts that time right off or makes that time painful. You know, what you say?
I'm listening to you. You kind of go easy on people, and I love it. That's why anytime I get in a conundrum, I'm like, I don't know what to say, because you know I tend to shoot from the hip and say it bluntly. So sometimes I got to say, what would Joe do? Is the WWJD, or what would Joe say? And so I'm thinking of this Bible verse. I had to look it up. It's Hosea 4:6, where he says, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected." Excuse me, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. People, yes. And that's why we're talking about this stuff. That's why we brought Community Beacon here, is because we are constantly in search of the truth. Right, we're constantly in search of the truth, because now the brother was speaking about, you know, what's going on out in space. I know a guy who actually studied these comets and this stuff. Like this is a passion of his. So now we can bring him into conversation, so we could talk about what's going on. Is there a meteor about to hit Earth? There's a movie on Netflix that talks about this meteor that's about to hit Earth, etc. But it's just like now we can have these conversations, and we are constantly seeking this knowledge. Because on the other hand, what the law says, ignorance is not an excuse for the law.
That's it.
Right. So because of this, we have to be, and this is why we're talking about continuously getting better. A lot of us are staying in certain, because of comfortability, because of fear. We tend to stay in one spot. We don't want to hear about it. We can talk. I don't want to hear about nutrition, because that will cause uncomfortability in what it is that I'm used to eating. I'm used to eating McDonald's. It makes it easier out of the convenience. It's comfortable for me just to grab some McDonald's, or it's easier for me to do this. It's easier for me to do that. I'm scared if I go actually to find out what it is that these headaches are coming from. I'm just going to go lay down and pay it. I was speaking to a client yesterday, just listed her house. And here's one of my things. I'm so seeking of knowledge. And I love hanging around people who are seasoned, a little bit older than I am. And the danger for my business is that I can just sit there all day and listen. She said, "Mike, I know you got to go." And she's telling me this. And I'm just like, "Listen, Ms. Mary, I can sit here all day and listen to what it is you have to tell me, because you're speaking from experience, etc." So she was talking about her pastor's son, who's 39, had a headache, a nagging headache for X amount of time. This is this week. This is last week. Had a nagging headache. They're telling him, "Hey, go get yourself checked out. Get yourself."
Let me say something, Mike. Hypertension, stroke, and actually cardiac MI, possible MI. Go ahead though.
Same thing you're talking about, right? This is real life. She says, because and I forget how this conversation came about, but we're talking about it, and she's telling me this, and she said 2 days ago, so he goes to sleep, pushing it off, wakes up, he's 37 years old, and he doesn't wake up, right? And this is after X amount of time of, hey, go get this thing checked out, go do this. but because we may be scared of maybe not want to know what's going to happen, because we don't want to go seek out this information, because we don't want to take these steps ahead of time. This is what happens. You understand what I mean? Young age of 37 years old, and is no longer here. Families in mourning. We have to seek this knowledge. The Hosea 4:6. We have to seek this knowledge, because people will perish, and it's our fault. Once again, it sounds like you got something on the tip of your tongue there, brother.
Yeah, man, you're reading me really well. You're reading me really well. I'm glad you said that about Hosea 4:7, right? Take that and then add it to, because, I don't know, maybe you don't want to believe that. Listen, in the law, this is something that we will hold up against our doctors. This is something we would hold up against our policemen. This is something that we would hold up against our firemen, our paramedics, our teachers, our counselors. They're out there, public servants, and what they're doing, we expect for those individuals to act in the cases of emergency or in the necessity to prevent harm, to help someone else. It's called a duty to act. I mean, I think that I'm very sad and sorry about, the young man, because it's about the duty to act, and us having this knowledge that somebody else ought to act on our behalf whenever we are in trouble. If I'm in my house and I feel like somebody's rattling my door and they're trying to get in, I know there's some, gun wielding peeps out there that are like, well, I got my shotgun. He better not try to get in here. But what I'm getting at is, you're going to dial 911. Most people are going to dial 911, and they expect for the policeman to show up and to protect them. It's called a duty to act. It's a legal duty requiring a party to take necessary action to prevent harm to another person or to the general public. But let me tell you something. Let's upgrade that. Let's upgrade it. We owe ourselves a duty to act. Why are we talking about wellness? We're talking about wellness. The brother just finished talking about ignorance, right? And how ignorance is no excuse. He even pulled the scripture up before I did. Because we owe ourselves a duty to act. When we don't act in our own benefit to help ourselves, to strengthen ourselves. Even the scripture said, when the men were wagging their head at Jesus, looked up at him on the cross and said, he helped many. Can't he help himself? Physician, save thyself. And physician, save yourself. I'm saying that to everybody, to me, to Mike. Save yourself. Even the woman with the issue of blood, she traveled all over the place until she had no money, attempting to find a way to save herself. When she could not find any other way, she turned to Jesus. Physician, save yourself. Find a way. Look for it. Like my brother has been saying ever since the day I've known him, it seems like, maybe not, but it seems like he's been saying it for a decade plus. Another day, another way. If yesterday didn't work out for you, don't kick yourself in your shin. You're going to bruise your ankles and your shins up, and you won't be walking. You kick yourself hard enough, and then you will get nothing done. So don't do that. I see some kids, sometimes they slap themselves and they say, oh, I messed up. Why are you slapping yourself? You're going to knock a tooth out, or you're going to slap yourself so hard, you ain't going to want to do it no more. No, learn. And when you don't know, seek somebody who does. Go back to them 7 Qs. Counseling, consultation. Learn from somebody, because you got a duty to act on your own behalf. And there's somebody else that's looking at you saying, but just looking, watching to see what you do. You know how many people learn by what you do, how you act, how we act? It's happening. We are compassed about with a cloud of witnesses. Compassed about with a cloud of witnesses. I think that's like Hebrew 11:1, or actually it's not 11:1. It's like 13:1. Compassed about with a cloud of witnesses. People are watching. They're watching Mike. They're watching Joel. They're even watching you, Anna. They want to see what you're going to do with what you got.
I love it. I love it, brother. This people are watching you. I had a young lady who's in the prospecting group. She's all the way in Dallas, Texas. She just got into real estate, and I don't know. 2 weeks ago, I remember I told you I was taking the young man to the hospital, the young man to the to have surgery. So I didn't show up because I'm telling you guys, you can set a clock to my habits. So I remember.
Yeah, you can.
On the way back, she texts me, because I always and one thing I always attempt to speak life. I give as much information as I can because I am out here seeking information. And she said, I don't know. She's in Texas. I logged on. I didn't see you on there. She said, and then we had a conversation a little bit a couple of days later. She said because I'm developing a habit. She said because every day I see Mike, I can't let Mike down. She said you are my informal. She said you may not know it, but you're my accountability partner. She said you may not know it, but you're my accountability partner, and that allows me to segue into this point. Find your tribe and your support group.
Yeah.
Find these people that will cheer you on. Find some of these people that are watching you because we're in the arena. Make no doubt about it. Joel and I are in the arena. We get up every day. We lace up our boots, our shoes, or whatever it is, and we get out on the field and we play, right? I'm thinking about Beethoven. Every day, the brother gets up laces up, and he goes out and he plays. And we're always attempting to make our yesterday, the maximum that we did yesterday, today is our standard. So we make yesterday's goal that we've reached proudly becomes our standard today. And then that's how we continuously get better. But it's because we have found a group. We understand that we may be uncommon. We may be uncommon men. This might not be common for people to every day seek progress, seek to be better. 1% every day, maybe 0.25% because we have our bad days and continuously moving forward. But that's because we found each other and we know this is not, we're not weird. This is not abnormal. This is something that we do. And as long as we handle all of our businesses within our personal, within our business life, that's exactly where we want to go towards. So find your group. And here's the thing, people. You may not necessarily find it within the group of the that you're hanging around now. You may not know where to go find these people. I'm gonna tell you what. That's when you need to start seeking that model, someone that you may have to pay. You may have to pay for it. Here, real quick, brother, because I know you're biting at you're chopping at the bits. Years ago, when I was surrounded by, and there's nothing wrong with anyone, but I just know that we tend to be uncommon among men, women, whatever, because we have uncommon women as well, but we're men. So uncommon men, I had to go out and seek it. One of the things that I was searching for it, and then someone said something about Toastmasters, and I jumped into it. Because the people in Toastmasters tend to be that group, tend to be people who are continuously also of the same mindset. But that's also why we created Community Beacon. You may be intimidated by going to Toastmasters because public speaking is what the number one fear, I believe, is public speaking. It's right after, and the next is death. So they say you'd rather be in the casket than up giving the eulogy. That's what the saying goes. I think it was a joke. Jerry Seinfeld spoke about it. But seek counsel, seek people, seek mentors, seek a model for you to follow, and get up and start going. I know you got something to say, brother.
No, I love it, man. And I was thinking about how you said that, and I just think, listen, we've talked about this before. I've called it a sixth sense. For me, it's just the spirit. You know, but and for some people, it's a gut instinct. It happens, y'all. Until you nullify it. When you nullify that feeling, it's like you get this feeling, I shouldn't do something. Just like the person I was telling you about. They had a feeling that they shouldn't go on the ATV. They nullified it. Trouble came, just like they expected. They knew it was coming. They felt it coming. They got the warning sign. They ignored the warning sign. And then it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
The brother was talking about how somebody else was speaking to the young man, 37 years old. And then trouble came. Many times we get warnings. I say they're warnings from the Lord. You can say whatever you want to say. But we get these warnings. It'll be something strange. You look on the TV and it says, don't go with him. What does that mean? It's probably something that was just some random commercial. But you felt like it meant don't go with that person that you were with. You need to hear that. You need to pay attention. I was talking to one of my buddies, and he was talking about how sometimes he'll be thinking about something and he'll look up. And as soon as he looks up, he'll be driving down the street. As soon as he looks up, he'll see what do you call those big posters on the side of the road? A billboard. And a billboard will say something that he's thinking about. Is it random? Could be. Some people say it's the universe speaking with you. Sometimes you get a phone call from somebody and they'll answer your thought without you telling them about it. I'm just giving you examples. Whatever it is, many times you get the answer. Check it out. Do this. Don't do that. Don't nullify that feeling, that hearing, because when you do that, you step out. This is, we're talking about spiritual wellness. That's part of that. That's part of this wellness, adhering to that, hearing that, and when we nullify it, it's just like saying, your body is saying that you need to drink water, and you're like, nah, I can go without water. And then next thing you know, you're sitting underneath, you're laying out on the ground, you got a headache, you're hoping somebody sees you because you passed out from dehydration and heat stroke. But you knew you should have been drinking water because you got the feeling in your throat,
I love it, brother. And you can get those all week. I'm glad you brought that point up. All week, I've been getting those different signs where I was looking at something in the morning, and then later on it was confirmed in regards to it. We spoke the week on mine. We spoke about being able to sit, in meditation. Those are excellent times to sit in meditation and say, because you may not necessarily know what's going on, so maybe it's that time to sit and listen intently. And that's just being, your ability to be still. So I think, man, this this is an awesome conversation. And I hope you all can understand how passionate it is that we get about this. I'm starting to sweat a little bit. And I'm almost ready to take this jacket off as I get this wrap up. But I got a couple more things to talk about, a couple more things. As we continue within this wellness thought, because we got to understand that we're all know thyself.
Yeah.
Right? Know thyself. And then once we know thyself, we start to improve upon ourselves. And part of the improving on ourselves is that over time, we're going to continue to increase the intensity. Remember what I spoke about a second ago. Yesterday's goal becomes today's standard. Once we achieve that goal of yesterday, it becomes your standard, but we're going to increase that intensity over time. And so what I advise you all to do is just go a little bit longer, go a little bit harder, day by day, in order to get to where you want to go. Stay confident in what it is that you're doing, and understand that life has its ebbs and flows. And the best and the thing about the ebbs and flows is that is your rhythm. So what you want to do is you want to become rhythmic with your body, become rhythmic with your mind, become rhythmic with your spirit. And then the brother talked about the soul, and I think that's what it is. When the soul, and because it's all a part of us, we're all a part of it, right? And these are the soul is telling you these different things. So just start to get in rhythm and start to understand this is my rhythm. And it's okay, because everybody, that's why we're individuals. We all have our different rhythm, but it's important that we just continue to get rhythmic and continue to push, just press forward. Keep pressing forward. What you say about that, brother?
I love it, man. I love it. And that's really what it comes down to right there, what you're saying about becoming rhythmic. There's a scripture where it says an unjust balance is an abomination before the Lord. And it's just all about obtaining that balance. When we were talking about the four parts to the human being, we gave that diagram, and that diagram showed how the soul middle and how all of the other parts, they were interwoven into that. And I think that that's important. Let me see. Do a real quick share of that, just so that we can kind of see that thing, right? I tell you what, Anna, if you can, when I get it up, you put it up on the screen. Wait a second though, because I don't have it yet. All right. So there it is. That's it right there. The spirit, the body, the mind, and it's all interwoven inside. You know, there's nothing that you're going to be able to do, brother, or me, to really benefit the soul, because the spirit, the mind, and the body have so much to do with how that soul is created. Think about it like this, or I shouldn't say created, but it's maintained. Think about it like this. In the beginning, when God blessed you with a living soul, that's the birth of you as a living creature. It's your job from that point on to nurture that soul, and my belief, is that the soul goes somewhere. The scripture teaches us that all souls are mine, so God has this power to bring that soul back to him. But it's what we do with that soul that matters. You know, Whenever we look on a tombstone, there's one significant uh, 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 piece of illumination that is greater than all the rest. You got your name, and then you have your birth date, and you have your death date. But in between, there's something that some people may consider to be insignificant. That dash. That dash means everything, because that dash is the illumination of your soul and what your mind, your body, and your spirit did to manifest the best soul that could ever be, the best life that could ever be. Because of that, we have this ability to share, to be, and to do greater things than we ever could have imagined, ever could have imagined. And I think that that's powerful, just the way you brought that up.
Oh, awesome, brother. Awesome. I see we're getting a cut. A cut inside. This has been this has been time well spent, man. I appreciate you, brother, and I appreciate this month. I appreciate all our viewers that are checking in. Of course, this is pre-recorded. Please comment wherever you're watching this. We'll definitely get back to you if you to have this conversation. It's been awesome. It's been awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I've enjoyed it also, brother. I've enjoyed it, Anna. I definitely, this whole month has been just a beautiful thing. Hey, listen, y'all, tell us what you want to hear us talking about. Mike, you get these people that are contacting you. We get people that are contacting us. What do y'all want to hear about? like, love, click on it. We're looking for the followers. Click on Mike's channel. Hit the follow, hit the subscribe. Click on the Tenacity Foundation. Hit the follow, hit the subscribe, because we want to go big. And not only that, please let us know. Not only what do you want us to talk about, what would you like to hear next, but also, come on, do you want to be a part of this community beacon? Would you all like to come out to a live community beacon showing? Let us know. We need to know. We need to hear from you. Otherwise, Mike, I love you, dude. Anna, love you. All my peeps out there, love you.
Peace.